Last week, after getting basically our new caravan together, as we ended up splitting off from the initial one because we were searching the dwarves and ultimately we couldn't find anything on them. We knew the amulet was there, but we weren't able to locate it specifically on their wagon. So after letting them go and heading into Dragon's Reach, we recollected ourselves, had a night's rest, and we went on to find a new caravan where we split the party in the correct way this time. All of us I believe it was Arlyle and Doc sticking with their original wagons as they were convinced to stay behind, and then Tynus, Vicious, and Tynus and Vicious were able to negotiate new deals on the new caravan, but Hadar was not, so he's just been following along with us. We got some good kind of Easter egg cameos, finding out more about Jape's sister, who is apparently disguising herself as a rock troll, so that was fun. Uh, but ultimately, we just got our new caravan on the road, and we ended the session with a spider fight. Some caps and giant spiders tried to drag away some horses in the night, and that went fairly well. And we just ended on the aftermath of that battle.
Alrighty, you can take an inspiration for Tynus. Anybody else have anything else to add?
I heard that there was a hallucinogenic mushroom field.
Yep, when the rains ended, you all had to deal with those hallucinogens coming down out of the troll claws. I think you all saved from it, and it fucked with most of the caravan.
We ended up having to drive the horses, one from each, out of the field because Arlyle was able to lay on hands them.
Yeah, that's right. Did one horse from each carriage.
Excellent. So, when we last left your party, you all were in the middle of the night here as the camp was once again assaulted in the night. At some point during the evening, I feel like it was Tynus, Arlyle, and Vicious were on their respective watches for their different wagons. As they were watching, you all would have gotten sight as the first of the horses was kind of dragged out of the caravan circle of wagons and started being dragged into the woods as giant spiders and humanoid four-limbed creatures that seem to have mandibles like spiders, very bulbous, lanky bodies, joined in with the spiders and started to web predominantly horses. A few of you who are a little bit more threatening they went for as well. But in a short melee, they started to drag off a few different horses from around the caravan. And we are rejoining as the last of these creatures is kind of slinking off towards the east. As it kind of melds into the darkness of the forest, you all would see that it has one more horse webbed, and it's kind of up to you all where you would like to progress forward at this point.
Is it like out of sight because of the darkness to like try to shoot it still?
It's essentially near enough to one of the fires. If you all went to attack it, I think you could simply narrate to me how you kill it.
I think I could probably snipe it with the longbow if that's a possibility.
You most certainly
And
can. So as it drags off the last of the horses, struggling inside of its web, you all would see as Doc drops a few last arrows into this creature, and it falls to the ground dead. And the horse shortly after would break out of the webbing. And then just as a side note out of character, that was me giving you all an opportunity to not kill it and track it back to its lair.
Why do we want to do that?
Because 4 horses are missing and the caravan's gonna need those.
Oh.
Oops. I will say Tynus would go around to the rescued horses and see if any of them need any medical attention.
Who are you going around to?
Any of the horses that we were able to retrieve that had gotten webbed and we saved, he would go to those horses to see if there's any sort of damage to their legs or anything, just to make sure they can walk. I'd be willing to drop some healing into them if they needed it.
So as you go around, you see signs that pretty much every single horse has a injury of some sorts. So I believe there are currently, I think, 10 wagons in the group, so 16 horses remain, I believe. How many spell slots do you want to burn? How do you want to decide on how you go about using healing for triage?
If I had it prepared, I would have just done a mass healing word a few times, but I don't. So we'll go with, let's see, I've got four, I've got 9 spell slots left, and there are 8 horse, 10 wagons, two, that's 20. I could only heal at most. Yeah. I guess I would just go to the more severely damaged, starting with them, and drop in a heal into them. But
I've
yeah, basically willing to expend all 9 of my spell slots to make sure we at least have some way of getting back up on our feet going forward.
Well, hold on there, mate, because I got 25 points of healing I can dish out as well. So rather than you burn all your spell slots, I can use some of that with lay on hands. So, how many horses are injured? Sorry.
It seems
We've
all
lost
16 have injuries of sorts.
And do they seem to be severely injured, or are they just, slightly bloodied?
Do a perception check for me.
Best stats 9.
Yeah, I think as you kind of look over them, a lot of them just seem to have leg injuries from when they were webbed at different points by these creatures. It's hard for you to tell. You don't necessarily have enough like background on horse anatomy to have a good idea of how vital any of these injuries are insofar as moving forward would be.
Okay.
Well
So
then,
I'll take 2 of them, mate, and I'll put 10 points into each of them, and you can heal the other 2.
all right. Starting with Lilu's horses and going down the list then.
So you're just kind of gonna like go around clockwise, no otherwise rhyme or reason to it, just healing horses as you come to them.
Starting with Lilu and going from there, yeah. Which the two that what you call it, Arlyle takes, I won't be bothering with them. But other than that, yeah.
And seeing as you two expend all of your healing, do you all have any intention to go after the missing horses?
Oh, Tynus absolutely doesn't.
I mean, it would be a good idea.
Is there a possibility I could take a look and see if we can follow the drag marks? Perhaps it wasn't the best idea to eliminate the last of the attackers.
A wisdom survival check for me.
Hey, can I use my last luck point to
Most certainly.
roll that again?
One other person can try to track them, otherwise that's kind of it for it if anybody has any thought towards the horses.
You'd think it'd be easy to track them. I mean, these things are gigantic. The
It's an
horses are
extremely
flailing.
low DC.
Based on the drag marks and the tracks, looks like they disappeared into a different plane of existence, according to my tracking skills.
Stop drinking.
Vicious, would you care to take a look and see if maybe you can track them a little better?
Well, you all can have your fun with that, but I've been assigned to watch this wagon, and that's what I'm going to do. And Tynus will separate from the rest of the defenders and return to Lilu's wagon.
Vicious is able to find the track that kind of leads off where some of the horses seem to have been dragged into that easterly direction.
You were looking on the wrong side of the wagons.
At this point, most of the caravan would be kind of getting up and kind of like stressing over the fact that approximately a 20th 20% of the horses are missing, that they're going to have to find some way to consolidate or defend this position as someone goes forward to Daggorford or somebody goes back to Dragonspear. But most of the caravan is going to suffer from this having happened.
Everyone, gather round. We need to rile up a little bit of a raiding party. If we plan on continuing at any form of speed, we're either going to need to ditch a couple wagons, which I assume is probably not ideal to those who would have to leave their wagons behind, send someone ahead to town, or we're going to need to get those horses back and pronto.
I think it's a good idea. The caravan waits here and we go get them back, to be honest with you.
Are you there? You capable of fighting? And Doc will wink at Arla.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you're talking about me. I don't know, maybe. I mean, I've got this massive stick, so it could be useful.
And Orc, can you come along as well?
Sure. We'll take a look for these spiders.
And amongst the rest of you, are there any others brave enough to venture into the lion's den?
Tynus will turn to Lilu and just sort of give him a look like, would you mind if I went?
Do a persuasion.
Already. Not my best stat.
There's a few of the guards from the different wagons who kind of step forward to rejoin on this idea of going after the horses.
Well, we'll gladly accept your help.
That's a 17.
Well, I mean, there's some of the capable fellows could maybe hang back and protect the caravan whilst, some of us go over and look for the horses.
Yes, I must agree. It's not a bad idea to leave some able warriors behind just in case they return or other adversaries should show up.
Are you guys talking to me?
I mean, if you care to join us, that's fine, but we don't want you to slow us down there, big boy.
He's
Well,
the
if
fast.
Yeah, well, if you don't want me, I will stay behind. So, go on, take a risk.
Ooh,
Like
someone.
I care.
If we don't succeed, we'll be in trouble. So if you are capable, we'd have you come with us.
So
Well,
2 of the missing horses are from Green Imsa and Arlyle's wagon. 1 horse is from Lalu's wagon, and 1 horse is from one of the other merchants. Nobody's really spoken with him. The few people who have gotten kind of anything out of him, it seems mostly kind of like hearsay across the camp, but they call him Lasfelro the Silent. And those are where the 4 horses have come from as the caravan kind of organizes everything and takes stock of what horses are missing.
Well,
Fine,
if one of
you
them
should
is
go
from
hang out
Lilu's
with
wagon.
that new guy. That way you won't have to learn more about whatever merchants are selling.
If one of them is from Lilu's wagon, then Tynus will just tell Lilu, I'm going to go with the rest of this group and recover your missing horse. I'm sure Baryon can watch you in my absence. And with that, he will join up with the rest of the raiding party.
So who's going on this little? Is it essentially the 5 of you at that point, and the other 2 who have stepped forward?
Yeah.
Yep, that's a yeah from Tynus.
Are we asking anyone that isn't in the party that's volunteered to stay with the caravan, though, anyway?
They are not staying. They're joining you.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but those who have stepped forwards who aren't with the party, I'm saying, should we not suggest that they stay, that we've got enough people to go raiding, so they should stay with the caravan and defend it?
My lord's horses are missing. I have no intention of leaving his horse behind, nor in letting you all go after it and pretend that you bring it back or not.
I'm of the same mindset. I'm going to recover Lilu's horse, and that is the matter with me.
No worries now. We've nothing to hide. The more the merrier. We'd be glad to have you gentlemen. I like to think that the remaining caravan could at least stall any adversaries long enough for our return.
So, how are we tracking these creatures? We saw one of them drag them off, but I'm not an expert in such matters. Do we have one among us?
Well, we can track them back. It's just how do we take them out?
You want to take out your horses?
No, we want to get the horses back, but we got to kill the spiders to do that.
Believe we'll be able to make a more effective battle plan once we see what we're dealing with.
Did you not get a good sight of them in camp? You seem to have been dealing with them fine enough.
Giant spiders and bizarre spider human things. I got a good look at them, but I'm more considering if they're going back, assumedly they're going back to wherever it is they eat, and there may be quite a few more.
Yes, expect webs.
Doc will take a drink from his flask and hit from his cigarette and say, then perhaps we'll bring a little fire with us. And if you all can help me find them, I'd be glad to help you kill them so we can get this caravan moving.
The sooner we go, the better. If we're wasting time talking about it, they may be eating. Let's go.
Green one. You seem to have found their trail before. If you show it to me, I should be able to help you well enough along the way. We can work together, or perhaps you can learn a thing or two from me.
I'm always ready to learn.
Please then, show me the way.
Let's go.
So you will see as one of those who stepped forward kind of progresses forward beside Vicious until eventually, as she shows the different marks that he's already found to him, quite quickly he kind of picks up a, not like walking speed, not running speed, but a little bit faster than that, as you see that he, as soon as he catches the tracks, he very quickly kind of darts off into the woods and is tracking at just over kind of what you can kind of walk at that pace.
Eager, isn't he?
You can certainly slack off if you have no intention in saving them, but I myself care to help my master get his goods to sale, and once at market, get my money. And as he kind of goes, 100 yards passes, 200. After about like 400 or 500 yards, he seems to kind of slow down for a moment, looks around, takes like a good survey of the area, and again kind of changes direction a little bit and picks the pace back up as he seems to have refound the trail and continues on chasing after. This way, keep up, keep up.
Yep, Tinus is following, and for the sake of his armor class, I would say he has his shield put away and is holding his crossbow.
After another few hundred yards, the soldier seems to stop for a moment, seem to have lost it. No, perhaps in the darkness, perhaps they've gone into the trees. Was a far more obvious trail than I would have expected for this, and now to have none remaining, don't understand.
To have suddenly vanished, they must have gone somewhere. Tinus will start looking up and around in the foliage of the trees to see if maybe they've built a nest above ground.
You can make a perception check at disadvantage.
Oh, it's dark. But light might attract attention.
Doc, you did say that they went to another plane.
Yeah. Can I cast light on just one of the branches up above me? One that I can see easily?
Make a dexterity or a strength check to see if you can climb.
Oh, no. All right, I'll just perception at disadvantage. Tinus cannot climb.
Like, you know light is a touch spell, right?
Actually, I didn't. For some reason in my head it was a casting thing.
It is. You cast it on something that you touch.
Oh, still a 20 at that disadvantage.
So after a few moments of kind of glancing around, You do spot that they seem to have started to drag into the trees, but are otherwise following the same direction. And you are able to lead that guard forward as you all keep to, generally speaking, the same direction as that second little portion has gone, and you all are kind of progressing a little bit to the southeast there into kind of a deeper portion of the misty forest.
We need to keep our eyes on the foliage. They've started traveling above ground.
Then, after another few hundred feet, you all see that there seems to be a cave that kind of is almost like built into the trees, as the nest or the webbing actually creates like a hollow in the trees. And as it gets thicker and thicker as you get closer to this point, you eventually see that there's like a tunnel that forms this cave into the trees, and it seems that this is where they have led you.
All right, well, we don't actually have much time. Now that they've already gotten back here, they may already be eating the horses. So we need to be quick about how we're going to do this. Should we simply burn them out and hope the horses survive, or make a more strategic assault?
You burn them out, you'll kill my master's horse. Save the horses and then burn them.
Certainly wise words.
It doesn't
The
take
question is, how
wisdom
do
to
we
know
get
that
in?
you shouldn't light your horses on fire.
No, it just takes a shockingly little amount of wisdom. But jokes aside, how do we get them? And he will sort of look around to see if anyone has any ideas.
I think the quickest among us could sneak in and perhaps climb beneath the base and maybe open up a hole into the webbing itself. And maybe we can release the horses. Or perhaps we could use a diversion and feed the fat one to them. Bring out all of the spiders as we have the quicker ones move into the nest. And that way we can save the horses and then can light things on fire from there.
Either way, we have to send someone in. Anyone feeling confident? I can't climb.
I'm not opposed to going in, although perhaps someone that has better vision in the dark than myself.
I'd really rather not do it, but I can.
Anyone here
Wait,
have
why
dark
do you
vision?
need someone to go in by themselves?
We can save the horses. We can light the rest on fire.
Of course, if we have any other plans besides that, does anyone think they could, I don't know, cut the base of that, I guess, nest open and just let everything come falling out?
So just to get the description right again, we're basically at a cave entrance and there's webbing like sealing it shut.
You've gotten to a point in the forest where there is essentially a massive spider web in the actual trees. And you've gotten to a point where you can see all of these webs kind of coming together into an actual, like, kind of like a wolf spider, where they have like their nests, like their webs, like have an actual tunnel into like an inner sanctum. But basically, this is like a massive bubble in the trees of webbing that has created a cave inside of the trees. So one of the guards has basically said we can either sneak in through the base, climbing the trees and sneaking into the into everything by like cutting a hole in the base and kind of sneaking into the nest that way, or we can do the same kind of thing and use somebody as bait at the actual entrance to kind of get the spiders to come out for the bait, in which he kindly offered Hadar as a sacrifice there.
What if we sort of do like a diversion and maybe like start to trip the webs a little bit and then sort of sneak around? Kind of a combination of those two ideas.
With a little bit of recon, you all would notice that there's really just the one entrance.
Seems cutting an entrance of our own is definitely going to be something we have to do. The question is, do we need to send someone in initially? Perhaps if we cut a large enough hole, we can get some of these spiders to come out to investigate, and we can assault them from there.
I think we should pick either one or the other. Either try and be sneaky or try and get their attention and bait them out. But I don't think it's a good idea to try and be sneaky after we've already alerted them.
Oh yes, I'm suggesting that we get their attention and get them out, specifically by cutting a hole in their nest.
All right, that's a great idea.
Naturally, if we cut a large enough hole, someone, or something I should say, will come along and try to repair it, and from there we launch our assault. I'd rather get all the spiders out if we can, because the more of them out here, the fewer of them in there eating the horses.
You all hear a horse neighing as it seems to be getting eaten.
And that's our time. And Tynus will raise up his crossbow and take a shot at the nest, trying to like sever some of the webs.
The crossbow seems to have no effect.
This issue seems a little more time sensitive than some strategic plan here. I believe y'all are paralyzed with your thoughts. Let's just enter and save the damn horses. And Doc will begin to walk forward.
And
I'll go with him.
yeah, Tynus is gonna follow along.
So, yeah, Hader's gonna follow too, but he's gonna be like 10 feet behind them.
I hate spiders. I'll go along too.
As you all are stepping off just towards the main tunnel entrance.
Yep, we're just
Yeah,
going in for a
sure.
full frontal assault.
As you all move away, you hear one of the guards, the one who's been talking already, kind of taps his friend, and he's like, "Well, looks like we found our bait." And after a few moments, you can look around, and they seem to be missing.
Crossbow at the ready to fire a shot at the first spider I see as we continue on in.
They leave, you just go in.
They already stated they think you guys are idiots for walking in through the main entrance and avoiding this idea of secretly making an entrance. So you can take what you want from that, but it's probably safe to assume that they are making their own entrance. What is the marching order that you all are going into the entrance on?
I'll go in front.
Yeah, I'll stay up front too.
Behind the vanguard.
I'll go behind that then. I'm only really low AC now, so I can't really frontline anymore.
I
You
want
are
to be
not
at the
low
back.
AC, Josh. You are normal AC now.
What, 16?
Yeah, stop thinking that's low. That's
Higher
normal.
than me.
You still have one more than me.
Yeah, I've got 15.
Not
Yeah,
having
you're actually
absurdly
higher.
high AC does not make you low AC. It's just normal AC.
So we're gotten Vicious and Doc, followed by Tynus, followed by Arlyle. Where's Hadar in this?
I want to stay at the back and like acting like I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, alrighty.
And I really want to look at the back if I notice if something is coming up behind us. Or whatever. And Hader's gonna be saying like, hey guys, be careful, there may be traps or something with the webs. I don't know. I never thought these things.
Hadar, let me have you do a perception at disadvantage.
11.
Alrighty, so as you all start to approach into this kind of general area, as you're like approaching towards the tunnel, you quickly start to acclimate yourselves to stepping on the different areas of the webbing. There are different parts that are far stickier than others. Some parts that are far springier than others. and you kind of make a effort to move extremely slow, trying not to step into the ones that are a little bit stickier. And as everybody kind of moves forward, you seem to be making a good bit of progress and have not alerted anything to your presence as far as you can tell. When initially you would start to see there seems to be one of these large web encased horses being fed on by a few of the humanoid creatures, as well as a few smaller but still abnormally large spiders.
Are there still? Can we see any other cocoons that are not fed on?
From where you're at, you can't really see anything.
Is the horse still alive?
Make a medicine check at disadvantage. It's hard to tell what, if any, life remains in the horse, other than it just doesn't seem to be fighting like it was when they were kind of first dragged out of the actual caravan. But as far as you can tell from there, there's not really any sign of life. But at present, you see 2 of the humanoids and 3 other spiders feeding on that horse.
All right, Doc's gonna take a couple daggers out and look over at the crew and give them the head shake nod, like let's do this.
Yeah, Tynus is gonna take a shot at one of the humanoids.
Oh, I'll activate Weapon Bless. Sacred Weapon, even.
As a 19.
Let me have you all roll for initiative.
How do I select a token in this instance?
I suppose you're at the very bottom of the map, aren't you? Could have clicked them, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, I hadn't even noticed me down there.
Yeah, I didn't realize you could do that. I just rolled again and then switched it to my first roll.
Hey, yep, did the same.
All right, Tynus, what did you shoot your crossbow at?
One of the humanoid ones.
Let's see, and you're third in the order. Yeah, 19 will hit from there. And then it's going to go to Dot.
Oh, my turn to attack? All right, so there's smaller spiders and then a couple of, like, the humanoid spider things?
Yeah, there's 2 of the humanoids and 3 larger but still smaller but large spiders.
Oh, wait,
Smaller
are
but
you looking
gigantic.
at the 23 for my initiative? Because my first roll was a 6, and that's what I put up there.
No, we started with Tynus's 8.
Okay, just making sure. All right, I'm gonna go for the humanoid one that Tynus just hit. 12.
12 is a miss.
How about 14?
14 hits.
All right, 15 damage. And is that thing still up? I'll do one more.
It is indeed.
Miss. And that is it for me.
Then it's going to go to Hadar.
So wait, I didn't really get where the enemies are. Where are they? How far are they? Am I away from the enemies?
You're within running distance. Well, let's see. So you have 4 friendlies in front of you. So you're probably 30 feet away, but you have, what is that? 10, 20, 30, 40. You have 40 feet of movement to cover getting past your friendlies. So they're 10 or 15 feet in front of your friends.
Well, I have 40 feet of movement and I'm just gonna run into it.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though, is you're in the back of the group, so it's 10 feet to cover each person in front of you.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Then
it's
what am I
difficult
gonna
terrain to
do?
run over each person.
Okay. Well, then I'm gonna. The problem is, if I would run over them, they need to run over me. So I would get into range. So I will step forward for 10 feet.
Well, here's the other thing. You have to cover everybody, or you can't do it, because you can't stop on somebody. So I think the
Okay,
only
so
option that you really have at that point is to either run and dash or just do your shuriken.
Yeah, the thing, yeah, that's my plan. But the thing is the range of 30 feet, so I have to get into 10 feet forwards. But if they are,
Well, that's what
yeah,
I'm saying. For what it's worth, you can attack something. You can't just attack anything, and you can't cover where your friends are. You can't move over them without dashing.
so I will stay behind them. So I want to move in the range of my of 30 feet to any enemy I can attack. So that
Do
would
you
be my
feel
plan, and
confident
then
that you'd be able to hit one of the spiders?
I feel confident. Yeah,
22 hits.
and I'm gonna do the same thing again.
And that first of the spiders that's closest to you all would kind of shrivel up as the two blasts hit it and kill it.
Yeah, and that would be the end of my turn.
One of the humanoids feeding on the horse is going to turn to you all, and as it sees Vicious at the front, it's going to release a web into the air that kind of like spins into shape as it like spits out at you. And what is that? A 14 to hit. I believe that will miss Vicious.
That misses.
And then it is going to go to the other of the humanoids. This is the one that the other two have already injured. It's going to spit a web at Vicious for a 17 should hit.
Yep.
And let's see. So you are restrained until you, I mean, probably won't be difficult for you, but until you use an action to break out of it.
So no damage?
Nope, just webbed. It's again the same kind of thing where it like forms a web as it's spinning out at you. And it just kind of starts to shrink down on you as it hits and just kind of like pull you together into like a fetal position. And from there, it's gonna go to Vicious.
All right. Strength to break out? Maybe next time.
That roll was with advantage, but don't you have to be raging to have advantage on your strength checks?
It just always rolls double. Just take the one on the left, which is D1.
Did you want to rage and then roll that?
No, because I can't actually
All right.
contact any.
So that'll be the
Okay.
end of your turn. That was me trying to say if you would have like raged beforehand, you would have broken out.
It just seems like I should be angry at someone.
I feel like getting thrown into a web of spit might be sufficient to make a barbarian angry. One of the little spiders is going to start to charge forward at Vicious, restrained as she is, and make some attacks.
I see getting mad in my future.
It should hit with a 21 to hit, and it will deal 10 piercing damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. So you will take 23 divided by 2 is 11 poison damage.
21 total.
Yeah, that sounds right. I think I said a 10.
Yep, 10
10 plus
piercing.
11. Yeah, so 21 total there, but you save against the other effects of the poison. And that one will be next to you, and it will go to Carlisle.
Alright, let's move within 10 feet of the humanoid, and then we'll stab him with a lance.
You have to move forward and beyond. It will be, what is that? 20 feet of movement to move past. No, you need 30 feet of movement to move essentially on top of Vicious. You all are still in the hallway, and nobody said anything about actually trying to move out of.
So can I move to one of the smaller spiders then?
As fourth in position, you won't be able to cover it without dashing. And you can't stop on top of Vicious.
Alright, I am a turn then.
Well, I'm taking up less space than usual now.
You don't have range attacks?
Do you want to be prone on the ground, Vicious, and I can deal double damage on those attacks?
No.
All right. Yeah, gonna do another spider. Is going to run up and attack Vicious. 20 to hit.
All right, now I'm getting mad.
Make a Constitution saving throw for me. Saves again. So you will take 11 piercing and 10 poison. So 21 again.
All right, that puts me at half orc staying aliveness.
So you proc that and you will go to 1 hit point.
Yeah.
And then it will be Tynus.
Right? Being third in in position, I believe that means Tynus can get up and out of the hallway by going past his friends and then just being in the main room itself, yeah?
Yep. It costs you basically 20 feet of movement to get to Vicious, and then you can basically use the last 10 to kind of move past one of the spiders.
Yeah, I'm gonna get right up in there to the right past Vicious, but I still want to be close to those two spiders attacking, so I can activate Word of Radiance and
You most
just
certainly
blast
can.
both of
They are
them.
both on top of her.
All right, then yeah, we're gonna Word of Radiance with a Whisper of Light and Celestial, DC 14 for a pitiful 2, but
One of them seems to be kind of burnt by the radiant light as it fills this little bit of space before you all. And you see, as that kind of flashes through this area, that there are 4 more ettercaps in the general area about you all.
there's a lot more in here than we thought, and I'll end my turn there.
And then to Doc.
All right, so from where I'm at, right behind Vicious, how far am I from the actual spiders that are attacking her?
They're like 10 feet away from you, basically. It's Vicious,
Okay,
them,
okay.
and Tynus. Tynus is basically it's almost like an arrow in front of you where you have Vicious, and then Tynus is directly in front of her, and there is a small spider on either side of Tynus.
Okay, I'm gonna go for the ones that are on Vicious right now. Neither one of them is damaged currently.
One of them is slightly damaged.
Okay, I'm gonna go for that one first. Oh
You can
yeah.
describe how that kills it.
So he'll pull out his first dagger and throw it at the spider, and it just kind of cleaves it directly in half, and spider goo shoots out onto Vicious.
Ick.
And then I'm gonna go for the second one, and I'm gonna throw one more at it.
And that one too is cloven in half and dies.
All right, and then I'm
Double.
gonna kind of step over Vicious and move forward. I'm gonna try to just clear the path as best I can, get out of the way, whatever I have to do, so that everybody else can get up in the fight. Does it open up ahead of us, or is it just one by one hallway the whole way?
Yeah, you're essentially at the point where it opens up is when you would have stopped there. In sight of everything, that's when Tynus shot. So it was kind of when everything instituted was Vicious was at the cusp that opened up.
All right, I'll basically just step forward into the open area, and then as I come around the corner, I'm just going to take a little drink out of my flask, and that'll end my turn.
And it will go to Hadar.
Well, is there anything which is like an enemy in 30 feet range?
So now you have basically 2 friendlies that are the.
I think you cut off there.
Can't hear anything.
Oops, my bad. I'm not sure why the shift kind of stepped off. So you are still 30 feet away from the humanoids, and you have 2 of your friendlies between you. So with 40 feet of movement, you can get to either of the humanoid spiders.
Well, if I can do that, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna. Is one of them damaged already?
One of them is more damaged. The other one is actually looks fine, but you can essentially get. Yeah, I think you can get to the damaged one first. Do you only have 40 feet of movement?
I only have 40 feet of movement.
Yeah, so you could get to either of them, but you are a little short of being able to engage both of them. So you can get to the one that is more damaged, or you can get to the one that is not damaged. That's up to you.
I'm gonna roll to the one which is more damaged.
Alrighty.
Let me through, you guys. And then I'm gonna attack it with my quarterstaff with 2 hands. Wait, didn't throw.
12. 12's a miss.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try the same thing again. 15
15 hits.
for 12 damage.
12 damage.
And then I'm gonna take my fists and I'm gonna punch it with my unarmed strike. I bet the 9 is a miss, so I'm gonna try again. And I have a 1 on me.
So wait, did you burn a key point to Flurry of Blows?
No, I normally have. Wait,
It's a
did
bonus
I?
action that uses that
I
attack.
yeah.
So
Well, I rolled it, so I did use key because I failed. So
and then after Hadar is the other Ettercap. It's going to close in onto you. And a 17 to hit. Can you make a Constitution saving throw for me, please?
9.
So you will take 9 piercing and 12 poison damage, and you are poisoned for the next minute. And right about that same point, you guys will kind of see as a small sword kind of stabs through the kind of central area of this area, and you start to hear like a cutting sound from it as the other 2 seem to be trying to make their way in. And then it's going to swing back around to the Ettercap that is damaged. It is going to make an attack at Hadar for a 25 to hit, and it is going to do make a I guess the Constitution doesn't matter. Yeah, make a Constitution saving throw.
12.
Alright, so that is a success. Let's see. So that'll take half damage on the 12. So it'll be 6 poison damage and 9 piercing damage.
I'm looking really bloody.
And then it is going to go to Vish.
All right. So how many of them are there still?
You see 2.
Oh well, I'll get mad anyway. I will go into a rage because, getting stuck in this and having spider guts exploded on me is just disgusting and gross.
You have a strength check with advantage to break free. You
Wrong, I did
burst
saving throw.
out in a crazy Hulk rage.
All right, let me at him.
So that is your action, but you can still use your movement if you want to close any distance. Otherwise, you can do as you'd like at this point.
All right, I will run over to the nearest Ettercap. Well, whatever's the nearest target.
It's the 2 that are basically on top of Hadar at that point.
All right, I'll run over there and try and eventually to pry one of them off.
And then it will go to Arlau.
Alright, I move within 10 feet of an enemy that's still left.
That's the 2 Ettercaps that are on Hadar, and Vicious just ran to.
Okay, it moves within 10 feet of them, and I'm going to stab whichever one's at full health. So it's
Well-
a 15. It's a 15 to hit
Why?
because I pinged in chat when I was at the start of battle when I was activating my blessed weapon before the combat started. Before we rolled for initiative.
Oh, right. When Tynus shot his crossbow initially.
Yep.
Oh yeah, so you can all see that there are 4 more Eder caps along like the sides of this area that are encompassed in that light that is being shed from his lance.
Yikes.
Does that hit?
Yeah, I'm reading the spell right now, but yes, it hits.
Alright, it's minimum damage anyway. I rolled a 1 for damage out of 12.
5 is better than Tynus's 2 with his Word of Radiance.
And are you going to take
Maybe it'll
the
help.
same one again?
Yeah, I'll hit it again. 24 to hit for 12. Oh, 27 to
24
hit for 12 damage. And that ends my turn.
One of the creatures that's kind of like hanging onto the wall to the side of you all is going to kind of like spin around from the ceiling like wallish area, and it is going to form a web that kind of like slowly forms out as it forms into the air towards Hadar for a 24 to hit. I need you to make a strength saving throw, Hadar. You are able to break free of it as it starts to form around your body.
I'm so happy. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, my bad. I said that wrong. You will have to use your action on your turn, but you can break free on your turn.
Well, I'm gonna do that anyway, so.
And then it's going to go to Tynus.
Let's see if I can be some assistance to you, Arlyle. And Tynus will toll the dead on the spider he just stabbed with a spear.
I think that's a wisdom save. It's going to fail, almost guaranteed. Yep.
Yeah,
Fail. Was that rolled with the d12s?
that was rolled with the d12, yeah.
All right, you all are now focusing on 2 different creatures that are almost equally damaged at this point. Focus fire. It is going to go to Doc.
Okay, so we got what, one on Vicious and one on Tynus now?
They are effectively still on Hadar.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Vicious has moved up into the combat, and Arlyle is at the edge, stabbing into the one that was very recently fresh.
All right, I'm gonna go for the one that's on Hadar right now.
But like freshness wise, most injured or less
Oh yeah,
injured?
the one that's more damage. Yeah, for
more
sure.
Damage.
I always
They're
more
both
damage.
still on Hadar. They in the same 6 seconds. They are both attacking Hadar right now.
Oh yeah, I always go for the kill on the one that's more damaged, always. So I'll go for the more damaged one first.
I need you to roll a separate
Sorry,
D20.
Hadar.
So Hadar AC 16.
That's a hit.
Take 15 piercing damage.
And I'm
Put you out
down.
of your. I'll put you out of your misery, friend. The spiders will never take you alive. And then I'm gonna throw one
I
more.
don't think that's helpful.
Mind your business, Orc. I'll save you next. I'm gonna throw another dagger at the one that's on Hadar.
Now that's a threat.
Yeah, I think I had to roll that on Arlyle for that not to be a kill, a friendly party kill.
12.
12 is a miss.
And then I'm gonna run up and try to like get in between Hadar's carcass and the spiders, so that they would potentially like go for me instead of him.
Yeah, so you
I
can
love how
essentially
he just referred to it as a carcass. You know, like that's your buddy.
you can stand over the rotting corpse of Hadar.
Yeah, I would like to stand on the lifeless corpse of the monk who's I saved from oblivion.
He'd be deader if I didn't do it.
You know what? Maybe I should. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and action surge on my way up. I'm going to take a monster hit out of my cigarette, and I'm gonna pull out my bow and shoot 2 bow shots at that I'm gonna shoot one at that first spider again and try to save Hadar before they carry him away. All right, so 17. I know the 11 misses, but and then I'm gonna run up and
That will kill
like
that
stand
one.
on him. Yeah, I got you. I just want to make sure he doesn't get attacked again. If anybody's gonna kill my allies, it's me.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so the other Ettercap is going to go before Hadar in initiative. It is going to attack. It is going to attack Doc. It is going to try to, let's see, bite and then a claw. So the bite is an 11, and the claw is another 5, so another 11. And it is going to go to Hadar for a death save. Hadar, like from inside of the webbing, seems to kind of take a breath, and seems, at least for now, relatively stable. Nah, I said that wrong. He's not like stable, but he's not like choking and dying. And then it's gonna go to, I think that'll go around to Vicious. Yep, because the Ettercap on the top is dead. The two coming through the floor are going to make their strength check as they kind of make their way through the floor. They are going to kind of, let's see, step out and... Alright, they each put 2 arrows into the Ettercap that you all are still in combat with. And 1... And the last of the arrows will fell that Ettercap. So it will go to Vicious.
So is there anything left for me to hit?
Inside of the light from Arlyle's lance. Well, shit, you've got dark vision as well. You can see that there are still 4 of these humanoid creatures kind of clinging to the walls around the outside edges of this room that you all are in.
All right, can I reach them? Like, are they high up or what?
A few of them are in different positions around the edge, but you can reach the one that has most recently spun a web towards Hadar. It seems to be within your reach.
All right, so I'm gonna smash at it.
So you can move off to that edge and make your attacks. 18 will hit and a 26 will hit. Slow it down there. Roll a d6.
Oh, sorry, too many of the hits there.
So in a drool-fueled rage, you do bloody that creature as you bash into it with your maul. And then...
Turn it into pulp!
1, 2, 3... one of the creatures along the edge is going to spin a web out towards Doc. With a 14 to hit. I believe that misses.
Yeah, he'll sidestep it.
And then the next is going to spin a web out toward... I think it's going to go to Tynus. With a 10's going to miss. And it's going to come around to Arlyle.
Alright, so how far away am I from the one that's, well, the next living thingy?
You can move into combat with the one that Vicious just moved towards, and it brings you closer to that one that you can get into combat with, and one next to it, or to the other side there are 2 more, but you can't really tell whether you can make it into combat with them.
Okay, I'll go to within 10 feet of the one Vicious just attacked, and I'll stab it.
24 hits. 29 hits.
And that ends my turn.
Let's see. The one that just spun a web towards Hadar is going to run up the ceiling, and then it's going to leap down as its tail spins a web from the ceiling, and it is going to lash out towards Doc over the body of Hadar. 20 to hit with a bite.
Oh yeah, definitely hits.
I need a Constitution saving throw from you, and then it will do 6 piercing and 10 poison, but you will take half, so 6 piercing and 5 poison damage. Oh no, never mind, my bad. It's 6 piercing and then 10 poison. You're just not poisoned.
Okay, so 16 total.
Yeah, 16 total as far as that goes. The total damage. So that one will have closed the distance into you, and
I'm
then,
gonna reduce it by a superiority die.
and then it's gonna go to Tynus.
Tynus is going to put a crossbow bolt in the one that Arlisle just attacked.
Is Hadar still down, by the way?
What was that
I'm
question?
still there.
Yeah,
So I
Hadar's
just-
down.
Okay, got it. Cheers.
As a 26 to hit for 6 damage.
26 will hit, and 6 is enough. Yep, 6 is enough that will finish that one off.
Good working with you, Arlisle. And that's the end of his turn.
Next up will be Doc.
All right, so Doc will look up at the spider that just shot the web at him or bit him or whatever, and he'll yell, "Back off, you greedy ass spider! This is my kill!" And I'll shoot my bow at it.
Yes, it's time for Jan to have a new character. The universe has decided.
20 for 18 damage.
Yeah, 20 hits.
If it's still alive, I'll shoot again.
It is.
Is it looking bloody at all, or is it still looking pretty fresh? Is there juice dripping down on Hadar's carcass?
Essentially, all of the 3 that remain until that shot were all fresh.
All right, and a 22 for 14 damage. And then can I use half my movement to teabag Hadar and then the other half to stand back up?
For standing on top of him, you can teabag him twice.
I just want to do, yeah, okay, two teabags is good. But they're out of love. And then that will end my turn. Oh, I want to take a drink out of my flask.
Hadar, from the ethereal plane, you know that you have a good reason to torture Doc if you wake up from this.
Yeah, I don't know what he did, but I know he did something.
Better that you don't know. And then the last of them is going to shoot a web towards Tynus with a 22 to hit.
Can I do the light thing on that one, or is it arranged?
It's a web. It's a range.
All right.
I don't
Yeah, that
believe you are
definitely
close
hits.
to anything at this point. That's part of why you're a target.
Yeah, I'm standing off, just shooting. I am webbed. Eesh, that is not good for me.
And then it's going to go to Hadar again. You will hear from beneath your feet as he coughs up blood and seems to choke on it.
Lovely.
He's still learn to chew his food.
The first of the guards is going to take a shot at the ettercap that just dropped into Doc. Let's see. One will miss, going a little wide. The other will hit, and he will do 10 damage. Damn, 2 nat 1s for them to recognize that Hadar was dying on the floor. And the other one's going to take a shot at the same ettercap. Both of which are going to go wide. And it is going to go back around to Vicious.
All right, so I will take a look and see who is the most damaged out of the spider things and go after it.
You can run back to the center and try to attack the one that is next to Doc.
Okay.
Both will hit. Roll a d6.
Man, not even spiders like being drooled on.
Smash, smash, smash. I really hate spiders.
Yep, that is enough that you can beat that one into a bloody pulp. And then Arlau, you are within feet of a fresh spider-like creature.
How far away from this spider thing am I? Sorry.
I mean, for what it's worth, you would have to move to close into 10 feet, but you're next to it, essentially.
That's fine, because I don't want to go for it anyway. How far am I from Hadar?
You'd still be about 30 feet from Hadar.
Okay, I'll use my full 30 feet to get to Hadar, and I'll give him 9 points of healing. No, 8 points of healing.
How much did you have left after sinking 20 into horses before?
Oh, was it 20 I had? Sorry. Yeah. So I forgot I put 20 into it. I've only taken 15 off. That's why. So that means I've got 5 points left. So I'll give him 3 points then.
Yeah, you guys have to track these things. Those are the resources that are most important.
Yeah,
That's why
and
it's so important.
I misclicked.
When I looked at everybody's D&D Beyond, it looked like nobody had tracked anything from the last combat that would have happened last week at the end of the session.
I did. I was at 41 out of 46 hit points.
Same. I kept my health points down for that.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
think
take
I
any
am
damage.
the person who modified those based on what your icons were in the game.
Oh, whoopsie.
So if it's just going on those health points, that was me.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
that's all I was going on.
I think Josh's spells was the only thing that I actually saw that it seemed like somebody was really keeping up with. Granted, I didn't look at everything that you all had, but it's one of those things that my entire job is to use up your resources to make combats more entertaining. And if you're not tracking anything, it's really pointless. So Hadar, you can take those 3 hit points, and you will be at 3. I just rolled a nat 1 for you, though, by the way. That's why you were coughing up blood and choking on it.
Yeah, I'm happy over every hit point I get, and then I'm not dead. The first thing I feel in my brain is like, Doc.
Is he still poisoned, by the way? Because he was poisoned for a minute. Or did that cancel when he went down?
What is it? You have to do 5 hit points to cure a poison, I think.
All right, then I'll use lesser restoration on him as well, then. Which is my last spell slot gone, and that ends my turn.
Tynus, you are restrained in a webbing.
I'm going to use guidance and that inspiration I got to try to make this strong boy pull a strong.
You can't guidance yourself for this. That's an action.
Fair enough. I'm going to use that inspiration I got to try to pull a strong.
So you can make a strength check with advantage.
That's a 10. Yeah, Tynus is still restrained. Needs to beat a 12, I believe.
Yep, it was a DC 12. So you kind of struggle and you are incapable of breaking out.
A little help.
And it's going to go to... Let's see. Shit, I feel like Nope, that was before Arlisle. So Doc.
All right, so just to double check, Arlisle cured Hadar of the poison, but he still is not stable? Or he's both?
No.
He's not alive.
Hadar is now essentially conscious. You are standing over his body, and he is... I mean, you wouldn't really know this, but he is also not poisoned at this point.
Okay, but he's conscious now. Doc will take another drink out of his flask and hit his cigarette again and say, sorry, buddy, I tried the old military healing trick, but it didn't work too well. And then he'll take a bow shot at the last... What's there, one guy left?
There's basically one on each side right now. One where Arlisle and Vicious just came from, and another one where the one that last attacked you came from.
Okay. So can I bow shot right now, or am I in combat?
No, it's where you are currently at is just the 4 of you, basically. Vicious just smashed the spider creature that attacked you to the ground.
Okay, if one's damaged, I'll aim at that one. Otherwise, I'm impartial. I guess if there's one closer to Tynus.
The one that just came at you, like that direction, that's the one that would be closer to Tynus. That's the one that just webbed him. It's not that close to him, though, so that one's not going to hit anybody.
Thank goodness.
As much as I would love to.
Don't worry, Tynus, I'll save you.
Considering how you saved Hadar.
Impressive.
It's
Most
the
impressive.
thought that counts. I had smoke in my eye, friend. I would never hurt Hadar on purpose.
With a single shot through one of the cluster of eyes, that spider screams out in agony as it is very quickly bloodied by a single shot.
So they have 50 health points then?
Nice roll, man.
It is going to try to focus in on Doc and shoot a web towards Doc. 14 to hit.
Oh, that's a miss. Come get some, you son of a bitch. I'll have your ass too.
And then Hadar, you are on the ground at Doc's feet. What would you like to do?
Punch Doc in the nuts? No, I'm not going to do it.
Flurry of blows.
Once you have a taste, you can't stop but thinking about these nuts, can you, Hadar?
16 to hit Doc.
Yeah, that hits.
7 bludgeoning damage from below.
All right, in the keys.
You guys forget that I can roll for you. Oh, my bad. That was a whisper, too. I didn't mean for it to be a whisper. You don't actually have to take that damage, though, but I still think he should attack you.
Oh, never mind. I was going to say I cough up a little blood, but if I don't really.
I think this. I would attack you.
Yeah, I'm just going to do a soft punch in the nuts. Get off me, jerk.
Just enough that you have your movement reduced by half for next turn.
What do you mean? I saved you from the spider, friend.
Well, thanks for that, but you can't get off me now.
Is that one of my daggers or yours? Can I have that back?
Can have the dagger, but I have to fight. Is there a spider near me?
They are both about 20 or 25 feet from you at that point.
Then I'm gonna roll 30 feet back in the direction. Wait, first of all, I'm gonna use my, before I roll back, I'm gonna use my Radiant Sunbolts to attack which I think is more damaged.
Yeah, one of them is damaged and one of them is not, so you can attack the damaged one.
Yeah, then I'm gonna do that.
20 hit, 21 hit.
Yeah. And after I deal the damage, I'm gonna roll back to get further away from the spiders to the entrance where we came from with my complete movement speed. As far as I can get. I have 40 feet.
Well, it takes half to stand up, so you have about 20 feet, so you make it most of the way back towards Tynus.
Alright, and that would be the end of my turn then.
One of the other guards, of the two of them, one of them actually sinks into a spider with an arrow, dealing another little bit of damage to the injured one, and it's going to go back around to Vicious.
Why won't these things just die? All right, so are any of them looking near death that I could hasten along?
The one that Hadar just struck is certainly closer.
All right, then I'm gonna take it out.
Both of those will hit. And then roll a d6 as well with one more. Yep. I think that's sufficient to kill even without the rage drool.
But what's a kill without rage drool?
Y'all are just jealous.
I am, actually. I'm quite jealous. My drool just stains my face. I can't zap people with it. To be fair, I would abuse that power, so I shouldn't have it.
As Hadar flees towards the edge, the last of these creatures is going to try to web him. A 1 and a 2. It is going to fail miserably as the web kind of splutters from its face and falls to the ground below. And that will end up cleaning up any chances for these creatures as you all are able to remove this last one from existence, saving 3 of the 4 horses that have been captured from you all.
Can Tynus get out of the webs?
I'm sure Doc will help you.
Yeah, hold still. I got one more knife left just for you, buddy.
Please don't stab me. Just the webs.
I think you could probably insta-kill Tynus.
Yeah, easily. Please don't, though.
All right, I'll give it a shot. Or no, I'll just cut him free. I'll just cut him free.
Make sure to
up
close
close.
your eyes first for good luck. Always close your eyes first for good luck.
Well, when I shoot my bow, I usually just close one eye, but when I'm smoking and shooting my bow at the same time, sometimes I'll get smoke in my eye and I close them both, and then I'll take the shot. And I think that's where I run into problems sometimes. Plus, I have been day drinking quite a bit.
Oh, it doesn't work with bows. You only close your knives for knife good luck.
So it would be best if we make our way out of this place before we dilly-dally any longer. Perhaps drag these horses out while they are webbed and free them on the solid earth.
Certainly for the best. And Tinus, even in his weakness, will assist with getting the horses back on solid ground.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you want us to like pair up or whatever, but I'll obviously help drag the horses out.
How are they looking?
Webbed. You can't see anything until you free them.
All right, so we'll try and cut them free.
Inside of this lair?
Probably.
No, wait till we get outside so they don't freak out and just get stuck in here further.
Yes, we'll cut them out on the ground. We'll use the sacks to help us get them down.
Just don't listen to the green one, and we can just manage this without the use of orcs.
Do you have a problem?
Yeah, normally orcs are best left skinned and bleeding on the ground dead.
All right, I'm gonna reach out and lift this person off the ground.
Roll initiative for me.
Let's not get tasty here.
As you go to reach him, he is going to stab at you with a dagger with a 17 to hit.
And then I fall over because I forgot that I didn't get any healing.
And he is going to deal 6 piercing damage and 8 poison damage to you. I don't believe that would be enough to insta-kill you, but it's certainly going to hurt.
Well, yeah, but I am down.
I'll give her 1
Where an
point to
orc
heal him.
should be.
I was just surprised to even see an orc on a caravan, though this one did assist us in the fight, so I'm loath to let it die here alone.
Probably best to just leave it behind. I think we have more pressing matters at hand.
That's reasonable. Let's get these horses up. And Tinus will... Well, actually, he has no cutting implement, so Tinus will Tinus in a corner somewhere.
It's no time for infighting, you idiots. Get up off the ground there. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, I'll give Vicious 1 point to heal him.
Now, leave the thing dead.
I'll do what I want.
How would I? Are these webs rippable by hand, or do you need a cutting implement?
You could certainly try.
Tinus will try to rip one of these web sacks open to free a horse.
Do a strength check.
My best stat. Oh, 14.
I picture them as really stretchy.
After tugging on it, you're pretty sure that it would be impossible to break these.
We need a sharp implement to get these things out.
Wait to cut them free until we get them outside so they don't just get stuck in here further. And Doc will start pulling on one of the horses to no avail, obviously.
I thought
Somebody
we
give me a
yada-yada
hand.
ourselves outside.
Yeah, I think overall, with 2 people working on each of them, once Vicious is conscious, basically Arlyle and Vicious, with one other person helping each of them, you're able within about 10 or 15 minutes to get the 3 remaining horses outside. Once they kind of go back in to get like the 3rd and the 4th horse, you will recognize that one of the horses has been eaten and is dead.
Is it like dead, or can we stabilize it?
Dead. It's definitely the type of thing where you guys had to go directly in and actually fight right away. The talking time was that decision of if you talk about it, one of them dies.
Well, 3 out of 4 ain't bad.
Was it one of Green Imsa's horses?
I did indeed roll, and as you take time to gather over and look over things, you see the soldier who downed Vicious has one of his master's horses. You see Tinus recognize one of Leilu's horses, and you see one of Green Imsa's. It was indeed her other missing horse.
Fantastic.
Wonderful. Well, at least our master's horses are safe. Still unfortunate for whoever had to lose one.
Cheers, mate. That makes me feel loads better.
You all have about a quarter of a mile to make your way back towards where the camp was, and are otherwise kind of finished in this general area. Depending on what you would like to do, we can move forward as you all choose.
I would like a heal or a long rest or something.
Yeah, let's get some rest and move along.
So it's not difficult to track both your footsteps as well as the original track that you all followed, so you are able to make it back to the caravan, and everybody can get a rest from there. You otherwise have a rest of your evening is pretty uneventful at that point.
Doc will approach Haydar, smoking a cigarette, and hand him his flask. Care for a drink, my friend? Sorry about earlier. Maybe we could break a little bread. No need to hold a grudge.
So let's take a short little break here. I'm gonna go use the restroom, and we'll be back in a second here. I feel like Jan has probably stepped away as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I got a call that I took. I'm back right now, but yeah, we can take a break.
Don't lie, you were in character creation just in case.
Great.
I feel like Jan has a bard that's like set up there.
I was setting it up. The last time I felt like my character was dying.
I wish I could say I controlled the ones I rolled because it would just make it seem so much more dramatic, but it really was an accident. Although I did try to take out Tinus too, but subconsciously.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you just want to be on your lonesome.
Well, with rolling a lot of 20s, you got to take those ones in stride.
yeah, I burned all of my spell slots before we get to that combat. Really shouldn't have, but it certainly made it more exciting.
I used
Gotta-
everything last week. The only thing I had left was one luck point and one superiority, and then my action surge.
If things started getting hairy, I would have went nuclear and dropped my my what you call it. Basically, when I do that sunblast thing and I light up the entire room, that's what I was saving just in case something went really hairy.
Yeah. I had to step back a second before because I just now got a message from my university that I got accepted for an exchange program for Bangkok.
Oh, fantastic!
What's the program for?
Yeah. That's just for my. I'm currently doing my graduate degree is called in America. I don't know, a master's degree. Yeah. So the second step like
And
that.
that's like just one of the programs that you needed to apply for? That's definitely awesome.
So I'm currently at the university in Darmstadt, and I'm going to be there for one half a year. Yeah. To Bangkok, just an exchange program, more or less.
And you're
What'd
getting
you
a
say it's for?
master's. Nice.
Banker? What?
No, computer science. Bangkok.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, you asked
Bangkok.
for the city. Yeah, Bangkok. Yeah, Bangkok. Bangkok. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly.
Yeah, Bangkok in Thailand.
Oh, Bangkok?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was trying to gather as well. That's awesome. Bangkok's got him now.
Yeah. I already visited Bangkok, and so yeah, but we'll see what will happen in the next half year if it will be possible. But I'm looking forward to it anyways.
Yeah, when I was
I
at
missed
uni,
all that.
How do you spell Bangkok? I don't actually know.
Bangkok.
Wait, so I missed that. Is Jan going to Bangkok or something?
Jan's in
Yeah.
Bangkok.
No, I will be going there probably in around yeah, what was that? August? I don't know how to pronounce it. The one before September.
Yeah, you did right, August.
Yeah, you said that right.
Yeah, it just sounded too simple for me because in German we also say August. So it's
well, it's because of Augustus, so I feel like it wouldn't be far-fetched for the Latin to have not changed in becoming like German.
yeah, I mean most of them are similar, so it makes sense. Would you? Yeah,
Still, computer
but it
science,
just
that's the same as field as me.
yeah. uh, you're also studying, or you already finished it, or you're working?
I'm
Just
finished.
you're finished long ago. Yeah.
Funnily enough, the career I ended up going into has very little to do with computer science. I went into security, so take that way you will. But yeah, I still got my master's in computer science, and I did a bit of code monkey work for a while there too, but ended up not being the way for me.
Yeah, well, so far I like it.
Oh yeah, it's a fun little hobby for me. I still enjoy doing it out as a side thing.
So we should be all set to hop back in. I think everybody's back at their desks.
Yeah.
Did everyone take a long rest, reset all of your expendables?
Yep.
Yep, back to fresh.
Wait 1 second.
I feel lots better.
So a long rest.
Where D&D Beyond has like a game log. Are they planning to turn D&D Beyond into a virtual tabletop?
They've talked about it for quite some time.
Well, now they've got a log for rolls that we accidentally made in D&D Beyond. And to be honest, that's a bit embarrassing. I make a lot of accidental rolls on D&D Beyond.
Alrighty, so as the caravan starts preparing up for the next day's travel, everybody. Oh, there's a helicopter. I can't actually hear it. Everybody kind of starts to gather things together and starts to prepare all of their provisions ready to go. There are different bits of talk about ways to sort of help Green Imsa get by without a horse as is. By and large, they basically just kind of decide that the caravan will try to move at her pace, and most people seem to agree that that's a viable option to go for. But you can tell that she is pretty stressed under the thought of it. But overall, they kind of decide that perhaps if they keep everybody from riding and they just keep the teamster running the actual team and everybody else off of the carts, that they should be able to keep up at least a pretty similar pace. She's actually one of probably the lightest of the people in the caravans because she's basically got donations from her town in her like merchandise rather than actually somebody who's a strictly speaking merchant. And over a little bit of time, you start to gather that there seems to be a few extra people in the caravan as it starts to get up the next morning. Oin would notice, or there's two extra people who have joined Oin, and they seem to have taken up some sort of employ. And after a moment, Oin pays Doc for the last 10 day and tells Doc, I'm sorry, I no longer need your employ. I found a few heroes of Greenest here, and they've actually agreed to help us and work as our guard. So I'm gonna have to let you go.
So you're gonna have to let me go and break our contract?
Well, I'll pay you your due, but indeed, it's hard not to recognize a hero for who they are, and also, between you and me, save a little bit of coin on their fees versus yours.
Well, you put me in an awkward position here as I'm a man of my word, and when I make a deal, I keep to it, and I expect those I make a deal with to do the same. So you offer me no choice but to either take a severance package, some coin to call it a wrap, or perhaps we could work out a negotiation. I could lower my rate a couple of gold pieces to match the offer, but I'm willing to be civil about it if we can. But again, I'm a man of my word, and I expect those I deal with to be as well.
I'm sorry that you feel hurt as is, but I must say I've hired the two of these for less than I'm paying you, so it would be quite a expenditure out of your pockets to negotiate further. But I have no problem paying you the 8 gold for this last 10 day here, and I hope that we can finish things in a more copacetic point because we have gone quite well together thus far, and you are indeed not far from Daggorford. Perhaps you'll be able to find more employ there.
Do I know how much further we are from Daggerford right now?
Approximately like 3 or 4 days, basically, away from Daggorford.
Oh, okay, so we're not far away then. Well, I can respect your decision, I suppose. I'd rather keep it cordial than not. We've come quite a way together, and I do understand you may be short on coin. It's much less valuable to myself than to others, although I will have to write your name down in my book of those who cannot keep to their word.
Yeah, any further conversation, he's apologetic, but he's steady in his stance that he feels comfortable hiring the heroes of Greenest, and having a heroic band of adventurers to guard his merchandise rather than the current employee. And then IMSA would as well have hired one of the heroes of Greenest, and also kind of pays Arlisle a 10 gold severance, paying you for your time and being a little bit more hesitant, having failed to save one of her horses. She seems a little bit put off, but seems happy in the idea that at least the adventurers that she's been able to hire should be a safer venture forward, and perhaps be able to get her to Waterdeep, where she might find a cure for her issues. So Doc, you can take 8 gold, and Arlisle, you can take 10 gold as they pay you a severance.
Affirmative.
There's a few more carts that seem to have guards that seem a little bit put off, as they seem to be removed from their duty, as apparently this crew of adventurers who joined up with the caravan in the night seems to have renegotiated some of the guard prices and has taken over some of the wagons' defense positions. And you all can progress forward from there.
And who are these adventurers? Like, what's their make and model?
At this point, you all have heard them refer to themselves as the heroes of Greenest.
But we were the heroes of Greenest.
Intriguing, isn't it?
So, do I know like roughly how many there are, what they look like, or anything?
2 joined Oin's crew, 1 joined IMSA's, and it seems that there's 2 other guards from 2 other wagons who seem put off. But otherwise, it just seems to be there's a few extra people who've joined into the party. What else are you looking for?
Oh, just like, are they human, male, female? Are they well armored or armed?
They seem to be well armored. There's there's 2 different women who have joined the party, and then 3 different men. And they all seem to be humanoids of sorts.
I will say to Arlisle in confidence, strange that they would be so quick to terminate our services to save a couple coin after we've saved their lives and their assets so many times.
Yeah, especially since we've been with them for so long, it was all a bit suspect, especially since they're calling themselves the heroes of Greenists, which is, where the cultists come from. And so they're probably cultists because they probably witnessed heroes save them and that we've got some fame. So they're probably trying to claim that they're those heroes that they saw kill all the people and shit. So I reckon they're cultists. So I reckon we should stick with the caravan and see what we can find out.
I couldn't have said it better myself, friend. I was literally thinking the exact same thing. For them to show up out of nowhere and essentially claim the fame that we have acquired, perhaps we can play a little game and try to coax a little bit of their stories out of them and see if they line up with ours. I have a feeling that they may have chased away a dragon and killed a couple warriors or 2 and saved the city.
Yeah, we could just straight up confront them and just ask them, "Oh, you're the heroes. Tell us what happened," and then see how when they don't get it right, and then we could zone a truth them or something. Expose them in front of the rest of the caravan. Actually, no, wait, we don't want to do that, do we? Because we want to tail them and find out where this cult's coming from or some shit.
Exactly. I think we should try to extract a little bit of knowledge from them and see where it leads us to. Perhaps if we're lucky, we can sort of trail them or at least get an idea. But I suspected, like you said, that they are cultists nonetheless.
Yeah, and the whole reason why we're here is to find them, not the gold at the end of the day. So I guess it takes priority.
Exactly. And I don't remember running into any heroes that we didn't know along the way, nor do I remember any warriors in battle. So they are either liars or cultists as far as I'm concerned.
Or liars and cultists.
Yes, true.
So with that, the wagon train can head off for the day, and you all start to progress forward, covering most of the ground between the Trollbark Forest and the Misty Forest. You make pretty good progress across that day.
The whole time Doc's gonna kind of just like investigate, kind of like peek around, not like shadily, but just kind of like try to figure out as much as he can about these this crew. I guess starting with the ones who took over for his crew, and then also he'll tell Arlisle or suggest to Arlisle that he keeps an eye on Green Imsa.
Yeah, I agree with that. I want to make sure she's safe.
So what do you have actively in mind? Like you're just
I
going to
think
create
just
like describe more than just that I want to investigate.
I guess basically while we're traveling, I just want to kind of creep close by, like not shadily, but just kind of stay in conversation with like the wagon that's one up or one back, trying to like overhear what they're saying, and get a better idea as to like what their equipment is, or try to overhear like any stories they might be telling, anything like that.
So let me have a performance roll from you and a perception. And then what is your thought with Arlisle? What would you like to do, Josh?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that I just make it clear that I'm looking after Green Imsa. Even though she's terminated my employ, so I still wanted to tell her that I'm still going to watch over her. I'll honor the deals. I told her I'd get her there safe. That way, I've got an in to make sure I stick with her, and she lets me in close so that I can, watch from plain sight what they're doing from a close range.
So, Duck, you seem to get like a good bit of attention from Oin's wagon as you are like nearby throughout the day, hanging out relatively nearby at lunchtime. You pick up little bits of story. These people seem to be telling a story about how they fought off and saved many of the cultists. Like they talk about kobolds and different people who were raping and pillaging the area of the green fields, and how heroically they saved these people in this town, and they did this and that. But you pick up little bits of their story that's wrong and incorrect. Not that you need to know that they're not the heroes of Greenest, but little things like they talk about a green dragon, and you clearly know that the dragon was using a lightning breath. So there's little things that you kind of pick up that kind of tell the story wrong. But you can pretty clearly come across that these people are weaving a tale. But you also, as you kind of go about things, you kind of gather that they're aware that you're trying to listen in on things. But Oin seems to be very thoroughly falling for their woven tales. But it seems pretty convincing to him that these people are an adventuring crew, and perhaps that having two telling the tales, having his ear is perhaps more dangerous, in that he seems quietly taken back by them and seems to be falling for the ruse.
And do I gather that all five of them are like together in a single party?
Yeah, throughout the actual conversations, they essentially like self-incriminate themselves into the fact that like they point out that two of them are the ones who are with Oin. One of them is on following and helping Green Imsa. And then another is working with one of the carts. Get that actual NPC, who people would have kind of gathered that he's bringing like fine wood carvings to market in Waterdeep, and the others are working, and the last one is working with somebody who you all just met in Dragonspear. Actually, these last two were both Dragonspear, who is bringing, he's got like a, damn, why can't I think of the tapestries? Not tapestries. Um, Cloth goods.
Porcelain.
No, not the porcelain merchant.
Thank God.
Yeah, fabrics. I can't think of the actual word for like the different kinds of fabrics, but
Linen.
Textile?
textiles. Yep, that was the word I was looking for. But they're not really
Rookiness.
trying. They're not really trying to hide who they are. They all act like a party of adventurers, and that's part of how they finagled their way into this. This.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I got what I need. I'll wait till I guess like we bed down for the night or get to camp or whatever, and then I'm gonna try to pursue it a little further.
Yeah,
I
my
was gonna
bad. I
say the
didn't
same
realize
thing.
that shift didn't actually click there. Arlau, you are essentially walking with Green Imsa. The others kind of like look at you a little bit weird. The ones who are a part of the caravan are kind of surprised because they feel like you were let go, and are actually like kind of surprised and impressed that you are still uh, going along with her. So you would see kind of like weird looks from Orvistia and Solsdag, two of the other guards that you worked with, as well as Enom, who kind of was the teamster. But otherwise, you kind of progress forward, like walking with Greenham. So she's very open to you being there. She's very familiar with your actual presence. But you kind of see also as her attention is kind of focused towards the tales and the stories that this person who has joined the caravan seems to be weaving on her cart as well. And it's kind of the same situation where this person seems very charismatic. They tell a beautiful and wonderful story of all of their heroics in Greenest and all of the different people that they've saved. And you see people's kind of like stress almost melts away. The shift like keeps letting go. Their stress almost like melts away as this person tells the tale that seems to just bolster them that they're with the true hero of the realm. What were you saying from Tynus?
Oh, I was just sort of agreeing with Doc that once we settle down for the night, Tynus is gonna do some things.
So a little bit before everybody would sit down for the night, you all would start to come across a. Why is the shift button not staying on? A little bit before the caravan stops for the evening, you all would come across somebody who is buried in the road up to their neck. They are essentially just a head unconscious in the ground.
Well, that's bizarre.
As each of you pass by, you would see pretty clearly that they have the words Oathbreaker written in paint on their head.
So is this dead?
Do you want to investigate further? You can do a medicine check. They do indeed seem dead.
I wonder what happened here. Must have a story.
I reckon.
Can I take a look also at the what seems to be dead carcass in the road?
You all are in the wagon train, so you all would pass by essentially individually with your separate wagons. So you can certainly take a look.
I'm gonna spend a luck point on that one.
You pretty quickly recognize that this person is indeed breathing. You actually see dust coming from their mouth. It's a belabored breath, but they seem to be just unconscious.
All right, I'm gonna man, does it look like I could dig them out of the ground potentially? First, I guess I'll give them some water or whatever, and try to like bring them back to consciousness.
You can give them water, and they kind of like choke and like spit it up. They don't seem to be coming back to consciousness per se. But otherwise, there's pretty clear signs that this person was buried in the earth here at some point. There are wagon marks that have passed by both around and over this person. So you could do a survival to guess how many days they've been buried here, but there's pretty clear signs that this person was indeed buried here. So you can definitely dig them up, depending on how much you invest in doing that.
Yeah, I'll dig him up.
So as you stop off to start to dig this person up, you see as the little rock gnome kind of runs back as the wagons kind of head off, leaving you two behind. And she kind of pulls out like a little trowel and starts to help you dig.
Appreciate your help, friend. I don't know what this man has done. Oh, it's a man?
Yep.
I don't know what this man has done to deserve such a fate, but I imagine that it's probably pretty bad. But everyone deserves either a swift death or a second chance, so I presume I'll give him one or the other. And in this case, a second chance seems rather appropriate. Not to mention, I don't have too many friends. And I'll wink at the gnome, because she obviously knows we have the whole party.
It's probably doesn't bode well that he's an oathbreaker, but I don't disagree that we should help those in need. We might need to be quick. They don't seem to be stopping for us.
Agreed.
Oh, sorry. And I give a hand as well, help speed up the digging.
So with 3 of you digging, it takes about like an hour to get this person out before their body is exposed. They start to breathe much more freely once you get past their diaphragm and actually like uncover their chest. And within like a short time frame, you're able to get them back to consciousness and to take some water, but they are clearly in advanced stages of exhaustion. But they seem to be kind of coming to where kind of like hobbling forward as the 3 of you all. You see the wagon train ahead of you. It is progressing somewhat at the speed that you can walk, but at the speed that this person is moving, you guys are still a little bit slower than that.
Can I heal him to make him be able to walk again?
He comes back to consciousness when you do some healing for him. How much are you going to heal him?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if he, I don't know, understand exhaustion, so I don't know if healing him's a pointless task to make him able to walk faster. That's all. But fuck it, let's give him like 10 points of healing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't have access to Greater Restoration, which is the one that actually affects exhaustion. But 10 points of healing certainly does help him. He still exhibits plenty of the signs of exhaustion, but your healing is a different kind of healing than most people. And he does seem to kind of recover a little bit and kind of glances across all of you all and thank you all so much. I was rather sure that I was going to die in that place.
Let's just say you were closer to the finish line than you were to the starting point, friend. I'm not sure what you did to find yourself buried in the middle of the road, but it can't have been good.
I was engaged to marry a woman who I didn't realize the full lengths of what she was doing with her life. And her family did that to me on trying to step away from the union.
That was your first mistake, marrying a woman. Why marry him when you can just spend a couple gold and have as many as you like? And I'll give him a ration if he's hungry. We need to make haste and catch back up to the wagon train or be left behind. Can you hurry a little?
I fear I might be moving as fast as I may at present. I don't think there's anything else that I can do.
I'm gonna pick him up.
You are well beyond.
Never mind.
As far as I am concerned, Arlyle was the last to kind of pass by and jumped out at the last second and like ran back when he noticed that Doc was basically staying behind.
Can we sort of like scarecrow him to like try to make like haste?
You all are not going to be able to catch up to the wagon train at this point. You, at best, you are making the same speed that it is. You're keeping it in sight, and that's basically what you've got at this point.
Affirmative. Should be able to just travel a little further into the night and catch them when they bed down.
Yeah, it's probably our best bet. We definitely want to catch up with them, don't we? So even if it means we have to walk for a bit longer.
How how long do you think before they bed? It's quite excruciating as is. I dearly need a rest.
Won't be long, friend. Do I have an idea as to what time of day it is or night?
I mean, it would be pretty far on into the afternoon, so you all are pretty hopeful that at some point they will be stopping pretty soon here. But other than just like the sun is like it's like in the like coming down portion of the day, it's hard for you to tell really.
Yeah, we'll just kind of like reassure him and keep moving. Just make sure that we keep the wagon in sight.
Who are you all so apt to save those in need?
Just a couple of lonely travelers. Not got too many friends, so I figure if I save your life, I'll have one more, and I've never had too many.
Bless your heart, though. It's wonderful to see somebody who is friendly along the tradeway. There are so many in these times that are little more than the bandits that I feared my wife was in with.
Then it sounds like you've made the right decision, friend. There's enemies everywhere in this world, but a friend can be scarce, especially when you're looking for one. My name's Doc.
A pleasure, Doc. You can call me Solomon, though others just call me Sal. They seem to mistake it for Salmon instead of Salomon. But Solomon, either would work.
Don't overwork yourself, friend. It's nice to meet you, Solomon. We'll get you rest tonight.
So late into the evening, you all would catch up with the wagon train. As people do kind of like notice the four of you hobble into the camp. Things seem a little bit tense as a few of the different people from some of the more out of the way wagons kind of just say things like you just hear like the little whispers like Breaker should have been left to die. But in general, there's like a chatter across the camp. Like people are kind of curious why you two or you three would have stopped to save him. Others say that they would have been better left to die. Some seem more concerned about the actual like ill luck that might come from saving somebody who is an oathbreaker. But there's definitely a chatter across the camp over having saved Solomon.
Well, I'm assuming he'll want to like crash out pretty early or whatever. So I guess like once we put him down to bed, as people are sort of like congregating or whatever, I'm gonna attempt to kind of make my way around and talk to some of the newbies.
He was essentially buried in a loincloth, so as you go to like give him a place to lay, he would ask you if he can sleep on your bedroll.
Oh yeah, I'll give him my bedroll for sure.
I think I just worked out why he was running away from his wife.
I got it.
Have fun.
Ah,
Surprised we found him buried in the floor and not in a closet.
And then what kind of things were you all trying to accomplish in the evening? You are able to set him down. He takes a little bit of food and seems to pass out almost instantaneously upon laying down.
well, then I will say Tynus will go about the business he was going to conduct around the time of his watch. So uh, just to say, he would intentionally take in a later watch than normal, somewhere around the high point of the moon in the night, but no later than that. And at that point, he would be looking around to see if any of the heroes of Greenest are also on watch at that time. Might have a shift problem there too.
Nope, just trying to figure out what watches they are on because that takes planning.
Gotcha.
We gonna get attacked by ostriches again?
You guys got attacked by us. Oh, the axe speaks.
Roll a d6 for me, Tynus.
Okey doke. That's a 5.
let's see. When you are on watch, you watch between kind of one of the middle of the night shifts while the moon is highest in the night. You would kind of be woken up as you come across and start to look across the um, 5 or 10 different people who are keeping watch at this point. You see that it doesn't appear that there are any of the heroes of Greenest keeping watch at this point, but you do see as one of them is basically turning in for the evening, and it would be the one who was staying with Green Imsa.
Yeah, then Tanis will approach that individual just as they're turning in, and he will approach with enthusiasm as someone who was enthralled by their stories and wanting to know more.
Piss off, old man. You can get stories in the morning. I've got sleep to do. You know nothing of heroes, obviously.
Well, that wasn't a very heroic thing to say.
With great deeds comes great need for sleep. Now go back to yourself, do your duty, and watch. Don't fail the caravan because you're useless.
Eee, Tanis will return to his watch, but I'll go with my original plan then. And hmm, I will return to my watch, and after maybe 30 or so minutes, uh, under the guise of doing a prayer, Tynus will cast Enhance Self on himself, or Enhance Ability, focusing on giving himself some better stealthing capabilities. I believe that is Cat's Grace. It doesn't have any components that cost gold. And with his enhanced bit of dexterity, he is going to try to sneak off and look at one of the wagons that are traveling with us. Specifically, um, let's see, there are 38 people total. Da, 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 da. I think I had the one I was looking for written down. Oh, I didn't. One of the ones that was being driven by the people we picked up in uh, Dragonspear. I think his name was something the Quiet. I didn't write his name down. I wrote the Quiet for some god awful reason.
I might have pressed the wrong button there. His name is Lasfelro the Silent, and his name would have just been kind of a rumor across the caravan as people seem to kind of shirk away from him as he's very eerie. He's not really been heard probably by anyone at this point, having said any words at all. Other than one of his guards was the one who joined you all in retrieving the horses.
Yeah, Tynus would be sneaking off to try to investigate uh, that person's wagon in the middle of the night. Um, let's see. As he gets close to that wagon, that guy's wagon in particular, he would start by just sort of looking around the wagon itself for any indication of, what kind of wares in particular he might be selling, though that's
Let me
kind of
have a
secondary
stealth
to.
check from you and a perception at disadvantage, please.
Gotcha. Right, and the stealth I should be getting. Ta-da.
Advantage.
Cool. So that's a 10 on the stealth and a 9 on the perception.
Rolling so low probably just did a lot to help you, but you will see as one of the guards who was along that party to save the horses kind of watches you walk up, and you see as he kind of like pops his head up to you the moment you like kind of approach towards the wagon, and you just see him kind of staring at you, and he's like, "Come to visit us in the night. Is there something you wish to discuss?"
Oh, mm, he quickly will just sort of readjust to the idea of being social. Um, Actually, there are rumors going around the caravan that your master is particularly eerie, and I was just coming over to potentially speak to you or one of his workers to sort of dispel that kind of myth, just to, put my own mind at ease as a fellow guard on this journey.
Deception check, please.
Wow, a natural 20, which is still only a 19 for him, but still.
Intriguing. Well, maybe he doesn't have a voice box. Maybe he doesn't care to speak with you. Why would you come across in the middle of the night? Seems a pretty vile thing to do for a priest of the sun. Or did you kill somebody for that as well?
I wasn't planning to kill anyone, and I don't. Well, the reason I came in the night was because, as with anyone who has an eerie reputation, being seen associating with them will often leave that reputation rubbing off on the other. And I'd rather not have to renegotiate my deal because I'm now associated with someone others are afraid of. So I figured I would come in the night on my shift
Maybe if you're
to.
so worried about your reputation, it would be best for you to stay in bed. Or, are you on watch right now? Maybe watch for the dangers of the night. Perhaps that's why we had to chase after our horses last night, and it was your fault all along.
Hmm. Of course, that would be ridiculous to assume such. But
Ridiculous
in
indeed.
this,
Shouldn't you be going now?
well, I'm still quite concerned about your master. Could you tell me anything to alleviate the rumors?
I can tell you to go to bed, or your life is in danger as we speak.
Well, that is quite unsettling, but I will take you at your word. Have a good rest of your evening, and Tynus will return to his caravan.
And tell your friend Arlyle to have a good night's sleep as well.
He's gonna just continue on a little bit more stiffly and back to his wagon, and he's gonna cast sending, and this probably information to go to Doc. Is Doc awake?
I need you to roll a percentile for me as well as a d8. What are you trying to send to Doc?
He's sending just a quick message. Of course, we should be wary of Lasvelro the Silent. His guards know too much, and I believe he may as well.
You hear no response. As far as you can tell, it's probably safe to assume Doc was sleeping.
Dang it. All right. Then after, well, he was already at his wagon before he made that sending. He will spend the rest of his night just continuing along as a normal, as if nothing ever happened.
Yeah, I guess it would be like earlier in the evening, before like all this happened. But Doc would like want to go around to like the various groups of people and try to like socialize, drink, and gamble essentially.
Yeah, so essentially you can do all of that on the like first shift of the watch, or basically like the first few hours before people go to bed and actually start a watch. But he was on the second watch, and you have to be asleep at that point.
Yeah, that's what I said. Go back in time, like before that happened. I know I was kind of letting other people try to do their thing. I didn't realize he was gonna like go forward into the night. So yeah, earlier in the night when everyone is socializing, regardless of him trying to communicate with me, I want to go around and do my own investigation.
So a good portion of the group of those adventurers, if it's while everybody is awake, a good portion of that group is all gathered to, well, really not even a good portion. All five of them are gathered together. They are putting on quite a spectacle of kind of telling stories and getting people like essentially like kind of loosened up a little bit. They seem to be pretty open to share some of their alcohol and get people a little bit more joyous and happy. They are progressing forward to start different like gambling games happening, but otherwise seem to be quite a spectacle and have people kind of laughing and rolling around, enjoying themselves. as the night kind of sets in for that. So you can join kind of a group of what seems to be still kind of like 6 or 8 of the different caravans have somebody around them at any given point. Or not caravans, the wagons.
Yeah, that's perfect. I'm gonna try to get in on like the drinking, kind of listen to the stories, maybe fawn over them a little bit, like act impressed or whatever.
So they seem to be pretty freely pouring their liquor as they, again, they seem to be having a gay old time as they kind of celebrate another night safely traveled across the tradeway. They don't really pay
All right.
any attention to you beyond the other folk.
Okay, so can I attempt to kind of gamble specifically with one, build some kind of like rapport, possibly, you know, get some more like details or whatever. Like again, I'm looking to kind of like act impressed here, but essentially like kind of get in with whoever I can try to. Maybe one of the ladies.
I mean, it's overall the same kind of situation. They're telling stories that you know a lot of. They seem to have some familiarity with what happened in the green fields. But you have to give me more detail than that because they are essentially telling stories that you know, but you pick out little bits of detail that tell you that they're using like either secondary knowledge or knowledge from somebody who was just like somebody watching because it's like, yep, you guys did not fight a green dragon, it was a blue dragon. You guys did not save the people at the Temple of Shantia, that was us. So I don't know exactly what you're looking for, but they're freely talking about their deeds because this is what gets everybody endeared to them.
Gotcha. So I guess I will basically just ask them what it takes to like get to be such a profound adventure as themselves, and to be so brave as to their heroics. Do they have military background? And then kind of share some of my background with hopes that maybe they might need one more, that I'm just a lowly traveler but that I'm proficient in battle, not to the quality of them of course, but
Let me have you do a performance and a deception check. Um, well, they seem to take you serious enough. They seem quite familiar with people who are like fawning over them. And they don't seem too shaken or anything by somebody being so impressed with them. They are pretty narcissistic in a lot of their responses, and they kind of pat you on the back at different times when you like ask about joining them, and it's like, oh, don't be too quick to put yourself into danger. You'll just go and find yourself dying, young one. And they're very condescending in how they speak to you, but they also kind of twist things in weird ways where it's like, oh man, they're really trying to protect me, but it's almost like they're also trying to keep me hopeful, as if perhaps I too could be as amazing as them. And it's just kind of like a continuance of that, but you are able to kind of sit back with them and enjoy some time with them. Let me have you do a perception check.
I want to use a luck point on that.
They are very clearly cheating at cards as they are playing, or not necessarily at cards, but at the different gambling games that they are playing. All of them are very clearly rigged in some way, that these people might be talking a very heroic game, but you saw them walk past Solomon and do nothing, and you're watching them cheat these very like people of the earth, of these merchants and the different like soldiers who are working for these merchants, and you are watching them steal, basically like robbing these people blind at cards, at cups, at different games that you would play along the tradeway that are very familiar. And these people are clearly taking everybody who is sitting down at the table. Let me have you roll a wisdom saving throw. You are able to basically keep enough of your wits about you as you kind of drink and spend time with them that you play into their games, but you are very good about keeping yourself out of the big losses and basically come out even. You don't actually lose any coin to them. Across this evening, or my bad, is there anything else that you're...
I would like to essentially try to like catch one of them in the act cheating, like to where everybody would see it. Whether it be like, a card up the sleeve or whatever. Somebody skimming the pot, whatever it is they're doing. I would like to like catch them in the act publicly.
Let's come back to that thought. What's everyone else trying to do across this evening? Let me actually think about how that might happen.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, Hyder would be just strolling around and doing nothing specific.
I'd want to, if I could, have a private side conversation with Green Imps and just warn her to be careful around these people because I don't trust them, and some of the things they're saying don't quite add up. I had a friend who was at Greenest during the attack, and their account of the story is different. But just to keep it to us for now, and don't let on, but keep her wits about her.
Let me have you roll a persuasion with disadvantage.
22.
As you kind of have a little discussion, like pull her aside, you notice that like some of the people across the card game seem to kind of look off at you as you like kind of step to the side with Green Imsa. You do get the attention of some of the the heroes of Greenest, and you almost see like a glint of light in her eye as you have this discussion with her, that it's not quite that she was under some sort of a spell, but she was definitely like charmed in a charismatic way. It wasn't like magic, but there was definitely the type of thing that you kind of break through a little bit in getting a little bit more rationality out of her. And she doesn't strictly believe you, but she's definitely like on a fence where she's thinking about like her choices a little bit more thoroughly at that.
Yeah, I'm not telling her that they're frauds. I'm just telling her to be careful because something's not quite right, And that I'll just reassure her to buy more, to create more favor from her is to assure her that I'll make sure that nothing happens to her. And that's why I'm sticking around. And that's about it for me.
Did you have anything in mind that you would like to do this evening, Vicious?
No, just resting.
All right.
I'll sharpen hatchet blades, though.
Yeah, that I can't roleplay sharpening a blade with you unless you want to risk getting injured.
No, I just, just like a maintenance type thing, but I'm not going to investigate.
So
Not really going to socialize much.
Do we have any idea how he knew that you and Arlisle were friends?
I'm assuming either A, he's from the last caravan, or B, he is one of the cultists who knows about us.
Yeah, all the cultists are saying shit about us when we're not around, claiming that you and I are thieves or something.
Or when you guys were inside of the spider den, you said, Arlisle, it's been a pleasure working with you.
Yeah, all that as well.
Ah, crap, you caught that. Ah!
No
Dang
shit.
it.
Definitely a mistake.
I hit my own head when I realized I accidentally said Arlisle's name. I wanted to just say Paladin, but I was hoping you missed that.
You guys are supposed to be secretive, and you use somebody's name casually.
Dang it, that got. I knew I did that. I knew I messed that up too. I knew immediately after, but I was like, hey, maybe you didn't hear. Maybe the chaos.
So I think for what it's worth, we'll just make it like a simple single contested roll here of a performance check. So let me just have you do a performance, Doc.
I'm going to use my last luck point on that.
So at a few different points in the evening, you're good at kind of like exposing what should be enough for people to notice that they're cheating. Like you turn over your cards and like have them sitting on the table, and then like somebody like shows like the same card, and you're like, oh, just kind of like pointing out different times where they appear to be slipping like an ace in for a winning hand where you folded out with that same ace earlier in the hand. And people just kind of seem taken back by their actual charisma. Nobody seems to be paying attention, and you kind of twisted it a few different times in the evening across your game where you feel like people should have gathered what was going on. But over and over again, it seems like they are not coming wise to it. And it just gets like overly frustrating, but throughout the evening, you are able to kind of like show these different points, but it never seems to actually catch with the people around the actual like gambling that these people are swindling them.
Reminds me of me. I hate them.
It's definitely a point of game recognizing game though, where you see how slick these people are like dealing from the bottom of the deck as they deal to the heroes of greenest.
Right, I got you. At some point in time, are any of my companions around to where they could at least like notice this and I can give them the wink?
I don't see why not at any given point that they could recognize it, but that's neither here nor there. You all know that they are not the heroes of greenest.
Okay, perfect. I just want everybody to know that they're not only liars, but they're cheaters as well.
And somewhere deep down, don't you kind of just want to join them?
Oh yeah, I don't know if you noticed. I'm trying to join their crew. You didn't get that?
Yeah.
He's very blatantly trying to abandon us.
I've
Yeah.
only almost killed like 50% of you guys, so I figure it's only a matter of time before you kick me out anyway.
And again, I feel like I might have passed over it, but they've like rebuked all of those kind of passes. They seem very solid in the idea that their five adventurers, damn it, their five adventurers are five plenty adventurers. They are champions of the realm unto themselves. They don't really need any other. You know, and I
Are
might
they
have
all?
actually covered that because I feel like I said they were kind of condescending how they kind of replied to you.
Oh yeah, I got the overall like undertone of it. I like kind of like the squad that's like, oh, it's okay, little buddy. Don't worry. One day you can be like us, like kind of too good for, too cool for school.
What were you saying,
Uh,
Tinus?
I was gonna say, well, have we noticed that they are any particularly odd races? This is me asking more for like, is this a callback to something? Kind of on a lookout for Easter eggs now. So I'm like, are one of them a Goliath?
That probably would have been.
I did not have anything planned for these people to be any sort of Easter egg now.
All right, that's cool. I was just wondering. With that, we can carry on as normal. I was just curious. Oh boy, I've got something to tell everybody in secret.
So with that, you all can again take another long rest, and we can pick up on Ukhtar the 16th as you all are still days away from Daggerford, but you're kind of heading towards the northern ends of the Trollbark Forest and the Misty Forest to the east of you.
During the course of our travels during the day, at some point, Tynus will send that message to Doc and then Arlyle.
When you go to send your messages, you have an eerie response each time. For the first one, this is what you would get, and you can tell me whether you want to try to cast it again. And you hear in response, "It's interesting that you find my servant so intriguing. Meet you soon." And that's the response that you get from the first message you send.
That's scary, but I will say I do believe Tynus would definitely try to send it again, and this time probably with a little bit more urgency.
The second time that you send a message, let me hear the next message that you send.
All right, this one will more or less be Lasverlo the Silent. Lasverlo the Silent is very suspicious, or at least his guards are, and something can hear my message to you in secret.
I believe you might find Your friends are further than you might desire. And perhaps you are closer than what is comfortable. Sleep
Yee.
well.
Ah, that's terrifying. Does he recognize that voice in any way?
You have no reason to recognize that voice in the least bit.
Great. Cool. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna stop trying to send messages for a little bit. That's pretty much all he would do over the course of the day was just try to get those messages out in secret. He is definitely still trying to maintain stealth, so he's not gonna go out of his way to talk to the other members of the party unless fate perchance brings them together in some way.
So the next morning, as everybody leaves across that day, I assume, Arlisle, you're going to still kind of keep your same guard over Greenhamsa?
Yeah, that's right.
And Doc, how about yourself? Where will you be traveling? Are you kind of doing a wandering thing across the caravan? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll sort of be wandering around amongst the crew, but I am obviously at this point in time looking over um oh my gosh, I want to say Balthazar, Solomon.
Okay, that's what I was kind of getting at. Is at different points in time, Solomon kind of wanders across you all, and he tries to take a few moments to actually like gain your attention. But he again kind of tries to thank you. He does kind of inquire at some point earlier in the day. Uh, do you have any sort of clothing that I could borrow? I can maybe I could have somebody pay you when I get to water deep. I don't know what to do. Is there anything that I could beg of you?
Oh yeah, like in the morning, I guess before we kind of get started, like knowing he's just got a loincloth and everything, um, I would definitely give him my. I have my traveler's clothes, which is what I'm wearing right now, but I would give him like some of my common clothes, not my sweet cape, but like just shirt, pants, um, and whatnot.
Thank you very much. Life would be better if I had a sweet cape, but I really do appreciate this. Thank you so much.
Of course, brother, it's the least I could do for you. What's mine is yours, and I'll actually give him a little coin as well.
Uh, Please, thank you very much. I shouldn't require any coin from you. I appreciate the thought, but I believe I will have to beg some more necessities from you before we make it to Waterdeep. But I would rather use the things that are necessary rather than request coin where somebody else might take me for more money than my bare necessities require.
Appreciate your honesty and your lack of greed. Know that I will look out for you as best I can. And thanks for noticing also my sweet cape.
Let me have you roll a perception check, please.
5.
Yeah, so you all kind of progress across for that day. If there is nothing else anybody intends to accomplish into that day, we will kind of fast forward towards the evening there, and see what anybody might want to do across the night, or just kind of move forward jumping here, depending on what everybody would like to accomplish.
Hold on, I'm just checking one thing over. Crap, I didn't give myself command today. I'll have to do it tomorrow night. So yeah, as the day progresses, I'm gonna change my spell around. I need to give myself command.
So you all would make camp. Um, Again, you're probably like 2 or so days, maybe a little bit closer, but the caravan seems to be traveling a little bit slower because of the lack of horses for Green Imsa. But you all basically take camp, leaving the troll bark behind. A lot of people take a pleasure in the very subtle sounds of the ocean off well into the west, but it is at least like kind of a clear sight where you can see bits of it on the horizon. and you all can make camp for the night. Any covert ops intended?
Not until I get command tomorrow. At least not for
Uh,
Tynus. Maybe somebody else.
I would like to sneakily try and like, I guess if they're all staying in like one tent or one area or whatever, or if there's multiples of those adventuring party, I would like to like creep in the shadows and try to listen in on any conversations.
Yeah, so they are staying as a group. They're probably one of the only groups that seems to like leave their wagons and more or less try to gather themselves together. What are you going for there, Josh?
Sorry, I was just reading it. I didn't mean to click it. But did Tynus tell us about the weird voice that he heard when he tried to send messages?
No, he has not.
All right, cool. But yeah, it was genuinely a misclick. I didn't mean to actually post it into the chat. I was just trying to read it.
So, Doc, let me have you. What time of the night would you like to try to do this?
Towards like when people would be kind of like bedding down, you know what I mean, or sort of like, you know, kind of getting back to their tent and, you know, having like that kind of like wrap up conversation of the evening. I want to try to like sneak over unnoticed near them, and then I want to try to overhear like as much conversation as possible to see if there's any like clues as to, you know, anything, any of their lies, their origins, their plans.
Alrighty, so let me have you make a stealth check.
All right, I want to use my first luck point on that one. Did it roll a second time for you guys?
Negative. You can choose between a 5 or a 12.
I guess I'll stick with the 12.
And then let me have you do an intelligence check. So as you kind of like saddle up to their tent, while it's kind of like at the point where everybody is post dinner, post actually like relaxing and winding down for the evening, where people are starting to discuss different points of like when everybody will take watch, this and that and the other. You kind of like sit back and almost like just saddle up to a tree that's near enough to their tent, and they don't seem to be like trying to hide their speech. They seem to be going about rather normal conversation. But as you kind of listen, you pick up different points where they're kind of telling their stories to each other. And they seem to be telling the same stories in a somewhat level of a repeat, where you're like hearing the same voice tell the same story that you heard from them at dinner earlier in the day, or 2 days ago when you were listening to them on the wagon. And as you kind of go about this, you start to pick up different points where, like, people are reciting their stories almost like their lines.
And they're telling them to each other, which they obviously would all know the stories if that happened like together and would have no reason to be telling it to each other.
Yeah, that's what the intelligence check is that you like pick up that they're like repeating these things and they're reciting them like their lines.
Do I get the impression or have enough knowledge to know, are they under some sort of like control spell or something like that, or under like some sort of like influence?
You could do either Arcana or Religion.
Let me try one more luck on that.
As far as your knowledge of magic goes, you don't specifically know of anything that could do exactly this. So it's more or less like you're still. It seems like these people are practicing their lines to be the heroes of Greenest.
Okay, that makes sense. I don't really know magic all that well, but I definitely get the feeling like something's up. More than them just being like liars.
Is anybody else trying to accomplish anything in particular across this evening?
Not this evening.
If I don't know about the demonic voices. There's no reason for me to do protection from good and evil on one of the greenest heroes, just as a little test. But that's cool. So apart from that, I'm good for the evening.
Adar, Vicious?
I kind of missed that. I'm sorry.
Oh, do you have anything that you'd like to do in camp while everybody is getting ready to essentially go down for the night's rest?
No, nothing in particular. I feel like Hater will still just be roaming around and actually trying to act to be like a spy. Wait, not like a spy. He doesn't want attention more, so he's not doing anything special.
So let me have everyone roll a d12 while you are on watch across this evening. Soon after, basically, you were listening to that tent, you basically picked up a watch across the kind of the first quarter of the night. And while you are on watch, somewhat still close to the actual Heroes of Greenness, you don't have to be far from them. But while you're on watch, you just hear it's a very eerie silence across the camp. There's little, if no movement. It just seems eerie and feels off. Let me have you do an insight check.
Got that dub deuce.
You kind of shake off this, like, ill feeling about yourself where something definitely feels wrong about this situation. There's something in the air. It's something about this area. It's you almost want to blame it on the Heroes of Greenest, but you just feel there is something far more dangerous afoot than even the Heroes of Greenest could possibly be.
All right. And is there any other like action or movement in the campsite? Other people on watch or anything?
From what you can tell, there's nothing going on in this camp. There's not really any signs. You don't hear anybody moving about. From there, you would have to actually tell me what else you want to do, but you do not perceive anything other than just an eerie silence. And it's one of those things where, on some level, your body is fighting you to move. You also are eerily silent as you just want to sit and listen. But if you want to do something else, you can let me know what you'd like to try to do.
All right. I'm going to try to get up and get to Arlisle and wake him up.
So let me have you do a wisdom saving throw. So after a struggle, you feel like you've regained control over your muscles, and you can make your way towards where Arlisle sleeps.
Arlisle, get up. Something's afoot.
Let me have you do... let me have you do a perception check, and then, Doc, let me just have you do persuasion.
Arlisle, something's not right.
As you kind of rock him back and forth, his body doesn't seem to be moving. And then after a while, you get like a cold, dead stare from him as he looks up at you. Arlisle, you are watching these same scenes of the destruction of this earth that you've been envisioning in your dreams for ages, or what feels like ages now. Only at present, you see Doc standing overhead, and he's telling you something is wrong. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
11.
You try to shake yourself free of these dreams, but you just get this like continual kind of thought from Doc as he's trying to shake you free. But the actual like nightmare, this prophetic dream that you've been seeing of the rise of Tiamat and the destruction of the Sword Coast, it's all encompassing, and something just makes you want to stay asleep. And Doc, as you continue to try to rouse him, Arlyle seems catatonic, unresponsive. His eyes are staring into you in one of the most creepy moments of your entire life, but he doesn't seem to be coming to.
All right, I'm gonna try to get to Tynus and see if I can wake him up.
So same thing. Let me have you do a perception from Tynus and a persuasion from Doc. There's no way that you're going to be able to pass that.
Yeah,
He
I
is
crit failed that one.
absolutely unconscious. As you kind of roll him over and start to shake him, you almost ragdoll his body. His eyes never open. You gain no sense of consciousness, no sense of muscular control. His body is just like limp in your hands as you start to shake him.
Holy shit! Can I try one more?
One more person.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will be kind of towards the end of your general watch where you kind of get the feeling that you'll have to go to sleep, though.
Holy shit! Which who has better wisdom? All right, I'm gonna try Hadar.
All right, so let me get a perception from Hadar and another. Oh, it should have been persuasion, but I don't think that matters for you. Yeah, persuasion.
I'm gonna hold a little bit of food in front of Hadar's face and just gently like rub his chin while I try to bring him to. Hadar,
No,
get up.
Hadar, it should be a perception for you, though.
Oh, perception. Sorry, I talked.
Yeah, it's +2.
I want to
so you
use
would have a
another
13.
Yeah, it's a 13.
So as you like dangle the food in front of him, he's almost like unconscious as he like lifts his head up and opens his mouth and starts to chew on the food. And shortly after, like he chews it 20 times, and then shortly afterwards, he kind of opens his eyes, looking around, and his first thought is, what would you just feed him? Just like a ration?
Yeah, some rations.
His first thought is, what would you say Hadar's favorite food is?
Man, this tastes like some good pizza. There weren't pizzas in there. Probably like a good ham. Yeah.
So you like wake up and you're just like, oh, honey glazed ham, and then your mouth is just like dry as you taste like the hard tack of the bread that he just fed you. But Hadar is conscious before you.
What?
Hadar, something's not right. There's a crazy silence amongst the camp, and I've tried to wake up Arlyle and Tynus, and neither one will move. Tynus has a dead stare in his eyes.
What time it is? Is it morning?
It's the middle of the night. There's some dark magic afoot. Can I try to get him up and about, and can we try to investigate what's going on?
Make a wisdom saving throw for me, Hadar. You can have advantage.
Hater is not so clever.
Hadar sees that you don't have a honey glazed ham before you. He seems to roll back over and go back unconscious quite quickly.
All right, I'll finish killing him, you son of a bitch. I'm just kidding.
Murder time.
Coup de grace. So you still have a deep feeling of something being off, something being wrong. But it's been almost an hour of trying to wake up your friends. You've walked through the camp through this time and gotten nothing else really other than kind of a complete silence. At this point, you can essentially choose to take like levels of it, like a level of exhaustion to try to stay up. Otherwise, your body is just pulling you towards sleep.
So, like, are any of the other guards up?
He hasn't seen anybody else at this point.
All right, I'm going to try to fight the feeling and try to wake up Vicious then.
So let me have you make a wisdom saving throw at disadvantage.
Nope, going back to bed.
Yeah, as you go to like step towards like looking around for where Vicious was sleeping, your body just goes limp and you fall into a deep sleep. And I believe you were one of the other people who had the dreams of the impending destruction of the Sword Coast.
Oh no, no, I didn't have that one. I had my master was what's
You
his
had
name?
Untharf Room? Yeah, I feel like you.
That was him.
Yep, Untharf Room was my master.
Alrighty. So, Highness, while you are sleeping, you see before you a creature of immaculate beauty, pale white skin with no flesh tone at all.
So he did see me.
And she stands before you with a goblet in her hand, outstretched towards you. Drink, little light of Lathander. Drink. Be merry.
Ah, does Tynus recognize this figure at all?
Nope, no reason to recognize her in the least bit.
Yeah, nah, if he has the ability, he's going to pull away as far as possible.
What do you mean pull away?
He's not going to get any closer to this being. Like, I guess in a dream perspective, he's just trying to be not there.
So as you start to imagine yourself anywhere but where she is, you kind of float through different memories of your life as you pass through Elturel and have the beautiful light of the Stun Star that protects that city over your head, not months ago when you were traveling initially in this place. As you look up into the light, you see a female figure start to descend out of the light. And once again, she's reaching a goblet out to you. Drink. Drink.
Ooh, that's actually a little bit more. That's more in line with imagery of Lothander that he would recognize. Uh, ooh. Uh,
Make a wisdom check for me.
Yeah, this is conflict. That's an 18.
There's a part of you that tells you, drink. It's safe. It's an avatar of Lathander. But there's something deep inside of you that tells you this is not an avatar of anything good. And the voice seems to be the voice that you heard when you last tried to cast your sending spell.
And the moment that voice came back to him, he is going to take a hard stance against this being. And he will say, no, no, you will not use the imagery of Lathander against me. Be gone, foul creature.
Drink, little one. Drink. Drink. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Come on, boy, you're good at this. That's a 15.
As you feel yourself in what you seem to recognize as a dreamscape inside of the ethereal plane, you feel a loss over the power of your body, and things seem to become difficult to accomplish. Your mind goes hazy. You see this figure before you as she descends out of the light, and for the first time, you see she has massive canines dripping with red blood.